popular demand and making way more sense than teaming up Yoshitatsu and Billy Gunn. It's the midweek wrap-up, starring NXT and Lucha Underground.
Good callback to how we started the week.
Yeah. Week 126 to be exact.
Yeah, it is indeed.
And we're wrapping up the review portion of our week.
Yeah.
Because this is the end, because we don't pay attention to what shows on like the end of the week. Superstars. We don't pay attention.
We also don't pay attention to main event anymore because
Hulu. Bye Hulu.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
So this week's midweek, way better than last week's midweek.
Yeah.
We had one good match last week, and that was about it. All the matches were really fucking good this week.
I enjoyed them.
So let's start with NXT, where we're doing both of our semifinals matches in the Dusty Classic. We open up with the Authors of Pain taking on DIY. Definitely the most difficult match that the Authors have been in.
Yeah.
They had their toughest test at this point in Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano were on fucking fire in this.
Yeah.
Like, they were not even taking into consideration the size of the Authors of Pain.
No, and I mean, that's what makes them successful as a team, I think, is realizing that they might have a lot of disadvantages in certain ways, but that in no way does that make them disadvantaged in a match.
Yeah. And it goes back to their mantras. You know, no one's gonna do it for you, so do it yourself. And they did. You know, they had a hell of a fight ahead of them, and you know they took it to the level they needed to be at. They were
somehow Johnny Gargano kicked out of Paul Ellering's amazing apron face smash.
I couldn't believe that.
I thought it was going to be over.
Paul Ellering with the most devastating maneuver in wrestling today, the face smash on the apron.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, Candice is going to be sad when she found out Johnny Gargano just died. Thanks to Paul Ellering.
Yeah. But yeah, so eventually we have DIY. They are completely in the driver's seat. They have complete and utter control. They end up knocking out Razor. They hit the super kick, running knee combo on Akam. Johnny goes down for a pin, or Tommaso goes down for a pin, but at the same time, Paul Ellering jumps up on the apron. And
he gingerly got up on the apron.
Yeah, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. It was almost as impressive as his face smash on the other side. So he gets up on the apron, distracts the referee. Johnny's standing there like, what the hell, man? You're supposed to be counting. And the ref is not paying attention to anything. That's when the Revival, who apparently have been under the ring the whole time, pop out on the other side, pull Johnny out. Dawson hits a major DDT on the outside, taking out Johnny Gargano. As the referee turns back around, Razor gets back in the ring. They hit the last chapter on Tommaso Ciampa, and the Authors of Pain move on to the finals at NXT TakeOver Toronto. And speaking of NXT TakeOver Toronto, we had dueling promos. We had Ty Dillinger. Just pretty much, he is focused on just destroying Bobby Roode at TakeOver.
I don't blame him.
But Bobby Roode is prepared to make Ty Dillinger realize that he's not as good as he thinks he is, and that he's the one that's there to make NXT glorious. Also, before we get to NXT TakeOver, the return is next week. We still don't know what that means. Like, based on this promo, I hope it's not like, we're back at Full Sail, because like half the shows have been at Full Sail.
Oh, you know what it is.
Uh-oh. What?
2 weeks last time, 2 weeks this time. It's the return of Dan Mayfield.
Oh, Jesus Christ, I hope not. I'd rather it be the return to Full Sail. Let's go to our
If
other...
he had a chance, all he did was get the shit kicked out of him by
And that's all he was worth. And we're going to leave it at that. Because...
You've never seen him wrestle.
Well, they need to give me some sort of preview of him wrestling, and then I might give a shit about him being on TV.
Well, he might not have any previous wrestling experience.
Then he needs to stay the fuck off of TV. Do something at the Performance Center. Let him put up a little 30 seconds of him just doing moves. If his moves are cool, I'll be like, yeah, let's put him on NXT for a second. And have him lose his mojo. Then we go to our other semifinal where we have TM61 taking on Sanity. And Sanity got this match started before the match even started.
Yeah, so technically they didn't start the match.
They didn't start the match.
They just started beating up TM61.
Yeah.
Who were trying to do their entrance.
Shane Thorne. Holy fuck. This man gets shoved off the top rope by Sawyer Fulton.
Onto the apron.
Oh.
Then flopped to the floor.
It looked like he got, like, the way he landed was like pop-up powerbomb style on the apron. So nasty. And he tumbles to the outside. Nick Miller gets destroyed over on the other side and isn't on the apron for 70% of this match.
Yeah.
It is a complete and utter destruction of Shane Thorne, where just, Wolf and Fulton just trade back and forth like how many times they want to just completely eviscerate this guy. And, he tries a few times to make a comeback and it just gets shut down because he's got the numbers so against him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those scenarios where it's more than just you against an opponent or your team versus an opponent's team. It's your team versus two guys who you're facing and two people on the outside.
Yeah, I gotta be real. Like, I wouldn't be comfortable in any sort of setting if I had both Nikki Cross and Eric Young just staring holes in me. Because it's just... those are people you don't want just, like, staring at you intently because they want to hurt you while they're watching their other friends hurt you.
Yeah.
This is a horrible situation. And there were a couple times Nick Miller does end up getting up. He ends up getting knocked down by Wolf, and like right at the moment that Shane Thorne's trying to make a tag, it was like one of the biggest letdowns. The crowd was just like, "Oh fuck, why?" It was right there. Eventually, Nick Miller does get up, and he becomes this just one-man wrecking crew, and runs through Wolf and Fulton for a good couple of minutes.
It's called a hot tag, homie.
Well, yeah, I get that. But, like...
That was my Vampiro moment of the day.
Thank you for that.
I'm going to keep trying for more of those.
Okay, gotcha. He hasn't been in the match the whole time, and he's just been trying to get up on the apron. So this pent-up aggression gets let out on Sanity. It just becomes this attempt to get TM61 into any sort of position to feel like they're competition at this point. But Sanity kind of shuts him down pretty quick and starts to set up for their double team finisher, the suplex power slam combo, and Thorne gets in just out of nowhere, drop kicks Fulton out of the ring, and Miller is able to hit a jackknife pin and pick up a quick win over Alexander Wolf. And he is like, what the fuck just happened? Like, he immediately rolls over and just starts like fury swiping at Nick Miller as he's trying to roll out of the ring.
Yeah, then Miller rolls out of the ring and basically pile drives himself on the floor.
Nearly kills himself on the floor. But TM61 is heading to the finals. They will face the Authors of Pain at NXT TakeOver Toronto.
Hey.
That's you were talking about that. TM61 was the first real match for the Authors of Pain post their jobber squashes. So their first like opponents were
jabber squashes. Younger sibling to the Jabberwockies.
Yes. So kind of bringing that full circle, heading back to, heading into the finals of the Dusty Classic. We also found out that because of their interference in the tag team match, the Revival will now defend their NXT Tag Team Championships against DIY in a 2 out of 3 falls match.
Boy, how I called that one as soon as I found out that the Revival and DIY weren't on opposite sides of the bracket for the Dusty Rhodes Classic. So I figured if they were on opposite sides, they would have ended up being in the finals against each other, making it for the belts. As soon as I saw they were on the same side, though, I was like, they're going to screw each other. Someone's going to screw the other one, and a match is going to happen at TakeOver.
And it's going to. That's going to be a killer match, too.
Yeah.
2 out of 3 falls should be...
It's the Revival's wheelhouse, too. Because they had the 2 out of 3 falls match with American Alpha.
They did. I feel like it's going to benefit DIY, too, though. They're not ones that slouch.
I'm hoping this TakeOver gets extra time.
Yeah.
Just on the fact that, like, now knowing that, okay, we have the tag team tournament ending match.
Mm-hmm.
We have the women's championship match with Mickie James and Asuka. And we have the highly anticipated rematch between Shinsuke and Joe.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm just hoping that they don't end up cutting time from one of these other highly anticipated matches.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the last TakeOver, they did go over about 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think, and that's the benefit of having your show on the network, is that you're not really on a time constraint. You can really go as much extra time as Vince or Triple H is going to allow. Whoever's...
All right, Hunter, 6 hours. Let's go.
6... Oh, God. Nope.
Each match is an hour.
Nope.
Iron Man match.
Nope. Nope. We're not WrestleManiaing this bullshit. Nope. No.
You wouldn't watch an hour of Ty Dillinger versus Bobby Roode?
If that was the only hour-long match, yes. If there were 5 other matches that were all going to be an hour long, no. No.
What about like an hour-long The Return vignette?
If I knew what it was about, maybe. We had women's action as Ember Moon took on Rachel Evers, no longer being called Rachel Ellering. Evers.
Never Evers again.
Never ever gonna be Ellering again until she's back on the indies. Good.
She was Rachel Ellering this last weekend at Shine.
That's true. Simple, solid match. Both girls kicking ass. Ember Moon obviously picking up the win. She's the one they're pushing. She's going to be probably the next challenger after Mickie James.
Wouldn't be shocked.
So, yeah, Ember Moon picking up the win with the Twisting Stunner. Still super fun to watch. I'm excited to see her get a full storyline push. It's going to be good. And next week we have our Go Home show to NXT TakeOver. One match that we know is going to happen will be Cien Almas will be taking on Cedric Alexander after they're falling out from their teaming up in the Dusty Classic.
Griggity grudge match.
Yes.
Word.
But we finished off NXT with a contract signing for the NXT Championship match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe.
We find out that Samoa Joe is every bit as much of a dick as we anticipated.
Yeah.
Clever,
though.
He wants special treatment.
Yeah. Well, and Regal...
Because he's a little bitch.
Regal took precautions. He had the table set up, and he had 6 security guards all in the ring to make sure that, the usual thing that happens between Joe and Nakamura doesn't happen this time.
And guess what? It would have happened anyways, because, spoiler alert, Shinsuke Nakamura by himself obliterates all 6 security guards.
Yeah.
Joe never even gets to the ring.
So let's Tarantino this. Joe brings his own table and his own chair to sit on the stage and do this whole thing, and actually demands Regal bring him the contract. Regal, obviously just wanting to get this done and over with, takes the contract up. Joe signs it. He goes back down. Shinsuke opens it up, drops it, then proceeds to beat the shit out of all 6 guys. This is why Regal didn't get back in the ring.
He knew what was going to happen.
So Shinsuke just elbows, knees, kicks, punts, tossing people out of the ring, and then a power bomb to the last guy through the table that's in the ring.
You know, I think the last guy, the black guy, the dreads, and the big, huge, buff, white, bald dude have to
tattoos.
Be friends. Because, like, Shinsuke totally chucks the white guy out of the ring, and then right before he power bombs black dude, bald white guy, like, books it back into the ring to, like, try and save him. And I feel like Shinsuke looked really pissed off, like it wasn't supposed to happen, like he wasn't supposed to get interrupted doing this power bomb, and he, like, hits him twice and throws him back out the other side of the ring.
Didn't do a whole lot for the black guy, though. He ended up still getting a power bomb through the table. Shinsuke then signs the contract.
Then power bombs the contract through the black guy.
Just kind of drops it on the guy. And Joe just watches in horror as Nakamura just destroys all 6 of these guys. And Regal just kind of sits there like, well, shit, I should probably get better security because they're all losing to one guy.
Better notify next of kin.
So yeah, lots of stuff heading into NXT TakeOver. We got one more NXT that'll be next week. We'll be doing our TakeOver predictions along with our Survivor Series predictions. So lots of stuff happening next week. But let's talk about Lucha Underground this week.
Hey, why not?
They jam-packed this particular episode of Lucha Underground. We knew, we knew for sure from last week we were getting the Believers Backlash match.
Yes.
But we also
AKA fans bring the weapons match.
Yeah, but we also got the Grave Consequences match as well. And I was not aware that both of these matches were going to be on the same episode.
Yeah. The show opens with a vignette, sort of backstage segment of Katrina basically giving Mil Muertes the ultimatum: you better win, because if you don't, I'm not resurrecting you this time.
Yeah, that's always been her thing. Is like she knows that if he dies and comes back, that's what makes him stronger. But she really doesn't give him the option to lose at this point.
Yeah, and like he has that look at his face, like she says it, and he looks over and he's like, "Oh, bitch, ain't playing."
Gotta get fired up for this one. I mean, I'd fight as hard as I possibly could if Katrina told me to. Now, I'm just gonna be real. But then our first match is the Believers Backlash match. We've got...
This was my favorite match of the episode.
It was so much fun. There were so many different types of weapons strewn throughout the entire temple. We had people with football pads, we had big bags of popcorn, we had ropes, we had cookie sheets, we had giant scissors, we had all kinds of things were in this crowd. And from the get-go, it is just the most fun hardcore match I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
it's because you don't see many hardcore matches anymore.
True. There's always some like super aggressive name attached to it, and it's got to be super serious. But this was just fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun to watch. Watching the different things that both Mascarita and Famous B were trying to do, the different weapons that got used. I mean, just in the most ridiculous situations too. The scissors were used to cut the tie off of Famous B because he was being choked with it, and
yeah, he was hitting him with the Justin Roberts special.
Yeah, no, okay, that was my favorite part. Is that we had three different WWE callbacks from Mascarita Sagrada. First was a toolbox where Famous B's going through and all of a sudden pulls out the elongated spray bottle of arrogance, a la Rick the Model Martel, which he ends up getting sprayed in the face. Then we had the Al Snow special, the bowling ball to the nuts in the corner, while Mascarita wore a fucking wizard hat.
I put on my robe and wizard hat.
What?
If you know the reference, post it below. You'll get a prize.
I don't know, so I'm not getting a prize. But then, yeah, then the Thai violence choking.
Matt Stryker even gave a shout out to Duke the Dumpster Drosy.
Yeah, for the use of the trash can. This was the greatest hits of WWE ridiculousness, all wrapped up into one. And
it was on Lucha Underground.
Mascarita ended up doing, early on, did the headbutt to the balls with the football helmet and the pad on.
He jumped off of a 2-foot ladder.
That was on top of the commentary table.
Yep. So, 5 feet.
Brenda got pie-faced. We even had Dr. Wagner and Son of Havoc get involved. There was just so much happened in this match. It was utterly ridiculous and still so much fun. And Mascarita ends up, there were 2 times that shoes got involved. One of them ended up not getting used, but the last one...
Matt Stryker pulls it out from under the table, and it's a huge shoe.
So, Mascarita gets on the top rope and just bops Famous B in the head, and then does... I gotta give it to Famous B for selling the shit out of this tornado DDT. It was fantastic.
I don't think it was a sell.
No, you think it's all Mascarita?
Mascarita fucked him up.
Mascarita
can't withstand the spinning power that little guy has.
He's got
Have
so much momentum.
Have you seen some of the videos of his 9 million rotation head scissors?
Yeah. I've seen the
satellite head scissors.
It's just part of he's a superhero. He's got the cape and everything.
So when he spins you around, it's like Cesaro swinging you.
You just go.
His tornado DDTs and flying head scissors have the equivalent power to Cesaro's swing.
That's it. Fantasy Warfare. I want to see Cesaro versus Mascarita Sagrada.
What would end up happening is their spinning power would be so powerful, if he tried to spin on Mascarita, they would just helicopter off and never to be seen again.
They just fight in space, bro. It's a Superman and a superhero.
Yeah.
So, they're fine. But anyway, Mascarita Sagrada picking up the win with the Tornado DDT and gets his own cut from Son of Havoc, his matching little biker vest with an adorable little,
luchador patch on the back.
It looks like a Mario mushroom on the back of his jacket. So I am hoping this becomes a thing and we just get a whole little biker gang.
The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah. And Son of Havoc and Mascarita Sagrada are the perfect way to start off this little group.
Who else gets in it, though?
So we had this one other backstage segment, which was interesting. We had Drago doing his thing.
Drago, nunchucks, while he's staring at the mirror.
Nunchucking in the mirror, making sure he's doing it right.
Yeah, that's the other weird part about this, though, is it's also because it was in the bathroom.
Yes.
Why is it nunchucks in the bathroom?
It's, Drago's been around for a while. Maybe that's the only thing that does it for him. That's where his best ideas come from, is he's got a nunchuck in the bathroom. You always have your best ideas come when you're sitting on the toilet. Drago's best ideas come when he's nunchucking in the bathroom.
I guess. Don't they have mirrors anywhere else in the?
But it's the ambiance of the bathroom.
The ambiance. It's got the right acoustics.
Yeah, exactly.
For those awesome whooshing noises that they add in.
It's also got the perfect way to set up for Cobra Moon to pop up out of fucking nowhere.
And reveal that Dago was obliterated by
Lord Pindar.
Which, that sounds Indian.
Lord Pindar, what I'm guessing is probably an elder in the serpent tribe or something. Because I think what I think Cobra Moon is getting at, I think Cobra Moon is trying to find that person who's going to not only bring the serpent tribe back to prevalence, but also give her power, because she tells Drago that he needs to he needs to win Aztec warfare. He needs to be champion. He needs to bring back power to the tribe. And he says, well, I was never actually a member. I was more like a slave. And Cobra Moon talks about how, if he doesn't do it, Lord Pindar will destroy him like he did Daga. And not only will Lord Pindar bring back prevalence to the tribe, but will also make her queen.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of interesting things happening here that I'm wondering what the end game for this particular storyline is. We've
hard to tell it.
We've got a lot of the tribe stuff kind of coming to a head here this season, and we've got the who's going to be the vessel thing in the the best of 7 series between Tejano and Cage. Or the best of 5, right? Because 7's a stupid number, WWE. But yeah, so interesting stuff.
Best of 27.
Fuck you. Speaking of Tejano and Cage, they'd actually be tag team partners in our next match.
Yeah, a 10-person tag team match.
Yeah.
They ended up teaming with Killshot, AR Fox, whatever his name is.
Dante Fox.
Dante Fox.
And Arhennis.
Yeah, which to me that was the weirdest part of their team. Arhennis showing up out of the blue, because he legitimately shows up like twice a season.
Yeah. Well, Sinestro Dylan Muerto died a few episodes ago, so it was time for him to come back.
Yeah, all those, like, who should be getting, like, Ricky Mandela back in matches, El Mariachi Loco should be making a comeback. All these people who were absorbed by the Disciples of Death.
Yeah. And we forgot to mention that Vinny showed up in the bathroom.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
Drago and Cobra Moon.
Then he decided he said we're going to use the ladies' room instead, and then he farted. Opposing this team, though, however, was
probably the most dysfunctional team as far as like who they like. Like this was like the most feudy team.
This was the couples dance team. Like the only thing they were missing really was Sexy Star could have been in their corner.
Oh yeah.
With the Mac.
Yeah.
Because it was the Mac, and then it was Evilise and Jeremiah Crane.
Crane, yes.
And then Marty the Moth Martinez and Mariposa.
Yeah. So the running feud between Mac and Marty, and now Marty and Mariposa started their thing with Evilise, which brought in Jeremiah. So yeah, some interesting combinations, and the winning team is going to join Phoenix, Rey Mysterio, and Matanza.
Drago.
Oh, that's right, Drago. Drago beat Phoenix and Aerostar. That's right. My bad. Drago, Rey Mysterio, and Matanza in Aztec Warfare, which is next week. I didn't realize it was already next week.
It's not next week yet. It's still this week.
Shut up. So this was one of those. We got a few of. Most of the arguing was between Tejano and Cage, which kind of was the segue into the end of this match, where it was Tejano ends up getting run into Cage, and then it's like piling bodies on the outside, and Arhennis does the moonsault.
Yeah.
That was like the only real bickering there was in the match itself.
Yeah, I want to say the best part for me about this match, and the part that I appreciated the most, is they started the match with the 2 new guys.
Yeah.
With Dante Fox and Jeremiah Crane both making their in-ring debuts at Lucha Underground. Having them do that in the same match and starting the match against each other was a good, fun way to introduce them to the crowd.
Yeah, and before we had this, we had the reconciliation between Killshot and Dante Fox.
We didn't realize Dante Fox had his fingers crossed behind his back the whole time.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, they kind of had that moment Dario gave you a job. Yeah, he liked what I did to you. Okay, well let's chill. Let's be friends again. Let's go out there and win this match.
He's like, sure, hug.
Yeah. Bro hug. Yeah.
And that's even played into during that spot, Arhennis hit that big moonsault, and then Killshot wanted to dive.
Yeah.
And then Dante Fox is like, watch me do this front flip going backwards.
Yeah, because
physics.
Because an inverted 450, is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty much inverted senton.
It's pretty badass.
Teriyaki turkey jerky.
Yeah. AR Fox is nuts. I'm hoping he continues to do stuff with Lucha Underground, because just based on this one match, he is a perfect fit
Oh yeah, well, at some point this is coming to a head, and I'm assuming probably Ultima Lucha, if not a little bit sooner.
Him and Killshot?
Him and Killshot in that match is going to be nutso.
Yeah. So we end up getting Ivelisse and Killshot are the ones in the match. Killshot does goes for a suplex, which tosses Ivelisse into the air. Ivelisse lands, hits a Rana on Killshot, is only able to keep him down for a 2 because she hurts her ankle.
Yeah, when they land the Rana, she has her leg underneath Killshot.
Yeah.
So Killshot's shoulders, which then by proxy, her hips, all of her body weight, and then a portion of Killshot's body weight all came down on the ankle that she hurt during last season.
Yeah. And I've had my ankle fucked up like that, where it's under someone.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's everything just kind of pops and crunches, and it's really nasty. And she ends up rolling to the outside. She keeps yelling, "Not again, not again." She is in just hysterics at this point.
Yeah, and it's and that's the thing too, is it's you get that moment where it's she's not even expressing the fact that she's in pain, but more so just frustrated the fact that this almost same exact injury is going to set her back.
Yeah, and Jeremiah Crane actually ends up just carrying her to the back. No trainers, no doctors, no nothing. It's Jeremiah Crane picks her up and runs to the back. So Killshot is already down. He's starting to get back up, and Marty goes up to the top rope to try and finish it, and we actually get Dante Fox, who stops him and hits a straight jacket brainbuster on Killshot, dropping him and just giving the win to Marty the Moth. So Marty, Mariposa, Mac, Ivelisse, and Jeremiah Crane officially join in Aztec Warfare, and so that's definitely going to turn into a continued storyline and more than likely a Ultima Lucha match between Killshot and Dante Fox.
Yeah. It's gonna be flippy AF.
And then speaking of Aztec Warfare, we have Dario reminding Matanza what he was trained for. And this is the first time we actually hear Matanza actually say words other than grunting and growling and death noises. He knows what he's trained for, and the only word he says is war.
Oh, war. Okay.
What did you hear, Hawk? Moving on. Our main event is the Grave Consequences match. We talked about at the beginning, Mill has that ultimatum. He has to win, otherwise he's done. And it is not as brutal as some of them have been, but still just as physical.
Yeah.
The physicality was there, immediately.
We're starting to realize that they, over the past, the Grave Consequences matches, they might have been, overdoing it on the casket budget. Because this time they have one casket. But this one's kind of cool, though, because it's got the Mil Muertes, Prince Puma half and half face.
Yeah. I think what they were going for in this one was, this one was so personal that this is the casket that needed. Plus, it opens up a lot of outside of the ring space.
Yeah.
I think that was probably their ultimate idea. Is if we didn't have 4 caskets out there, it probably gives the wrestlers a lot more room to work. It's just the one single casket. We get started right off the bat. Muertes is making his entrance, and Puma just fucking runs from behind him and knocks him into the crowd. Ends up doing a crossbody onto him in the bleachers, and then tries to do it again to the outside, but Muertes turns it into a power slam, and then they are just off to the races at this point.
Yeah, off to the races. Completely
caving in the casket, which is kind of a running theme in all of the Grave Consequences matches. Lots of tables get used.
Poor graham crackers.
Puma actually gets put through all of the tables. He gets speared through the one that Mortes takes into the ring, and then gets chokeslammed through 2 on the outside. It's a chaotic match.
Eventually, like, the casket that they have out there is basically rendered useless.
Yeah, no,
I feel like the lid was so far concaved that you wouldn't be able to shut it with somebody inside.
Yeah, no, it was pretty messed up. They were having a hard, because they both ended up getting in it at one point, and they were having a hard time. They had to hold it and grab the person at the same time because it couldn't stay open on its own.
Yeah.
The only reason they got it in was because Mortes took the bottom rope off and started to bludgeon Puma with the turnbuckle little... What's that thing called?
A hook.
Yeah. I thought there was a special name for it. Anyway, so Mortes has had a plan, though. You know, the one casket just wasn't enough for him, and he's got a little relic that he...
He's got a casket from the past.
Thank you for that. That was... Oh, man. Yeah.
I'm not proud of it, but...
You should be.
I did it anyway.
He does indeed. He brings back the casket that Conan was put in the first time that the Grave Consequences match happened. And so, just to, this is, just to kind of add insult to injury as far as beating Puma is concerned. It kind of like reinvigorates Puma. Puma's, a little...
Well, he gets really tipped off.
He's extra angry that he's now seeing this make its comeback. So, fights a little harder, but eventually a flatliner on the outside, which I'm going to go back real quick. He actually countered the flatliner earlier by doing a handstand. That was pretty fucking cool. But the second flatliner was not as successful as it dropped Puma. Puma then gets tossed into the casket, and Mil Muertes wins Grave Consequences.
Oh.
So, they were, like, Matt Striker kept saying that was the end of Prince Puma. I definitely don't think it's the end of Prince Puma. I think it would be cool if we had Vampiro do some sort of, like, resurrection thing on Puma.
Prince Puma Dark.
Yeah. Prince Puma Jr. first. Then he can be Prince Puma Dark once he, like, completes his training.
Prince Puma Gone.
Oh,
man. Gonna get the Puma Gone Jr. Dark.
Puma Gone Jr. So we'll see what the future holds for Prince Puma.
Puma
Vampiro,
Prince
though...
Puma Gone Jr. Dark.
Vampiro had a very creepy smile on his face once this whole match was over.
Maybe he's gonna be King Puma.
Oh, you die, you come back, you get a promotion?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't think that's how that works, but if it does, we will see.
Well, if it's not how it works, then he's going to come back as Peasant Puma.
Peasant Puma. Duke Puma.
Court Jester Puma.
Anyway, fun edition of the Midweek Wrap-Up this week. Totally heads and tails above last week. It was just...
Whatever that means.
I think I meant head and shoulders, but...
Sure.
Fuck it.
Knees and toes.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Click on the links down in the description. Send to all of our social medias.
We got a lot of social medias down
If you want to check out this review along with the Indie News, Raw Review, and SmackDown Rundown in podcast form, click over to SoundCloud and you can get those every single week. But they're only up for a week because we only have limited space.
Yeah, and that link's down there under our social medias.
It is. Along with a link to our other channel, Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
That's Reasonable to W.
Like wrestling. Where you find all of our extra videos. This week you're going to be getting the brand new unboxing from Wrestle Crate. You get to check that out along with all the other unboxing videos we've done. Plus you get things like the punishment videos, which we're getting ready to shoot one again as we round out the healing process.
I feel like it's probably going to be Saturday.
All right.
I just have this weird, suspicious hunch that,
that we might be around a steel chair on Saturday?
Yeah, it could happen.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a weekend event.
That could happen. Look forward to that.
We might even, if we figure out how, we might even, YouTube live stream it.
We could Facebook live it.
We could do both.
You can find...
I don't know, we can't do both on the same phone, but...
No, but we can do multiple phones.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have one.
So look forward to that. We'll be doing that later this week. But yeah, you get all the other punishment videos we've done. Plus you get some extra content. We'll be putting some more stuff up over there pretty soon.
And speaking of extra content, you guys who are listening only on the SoundCloud, you're gonna miss out on a video this week because I'm about to tell you my top 5 for I was almost saying the episode of October.
The episode of October. Yes. Top 5 coming up.
Weekend
this
done
weekend.
talk good.
That and all the rest of the reviews we've done in video form. Next week you'll be getting special videos like all the predictions.
Yeah,
predictions for
TakeOver
Survivor
predictions.
Series and for TakeOver. So look forward to stuff like that.
Toronto's.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Pew, 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 pew.